Bonjour, je m'appelle M. Mbaye, professeur d'anglais du lycée Koumando Diouf de Fatick. Et en même temps, je suis professeur de Business English à l'université LH Ibrahima Niass de Fatick. Donc tout d'abord, je vais essayer de vous remercier et remercier aussi Mindis TV d'avoir choisi de faire des cours en ligne pour aider nos élèves parce que vous savez très bien que les élèves ne sont plus à l'école à cause du coronavirus. Donc c'était juste pour éviter la propagation de ce virus. C'est pourquoi on a arrêté tous les cours. Mais nous, à notre niveau, on a décidé d'organiser des cours à distance pour aider nos camarades et nos élèves à pouvoir aussi en profiter et réviser en même temps. Okay, so first of all, I would like even to thank you a lot for giving us the possibilities to come and do this broadcasting, because you do know exactly that the students are no longer at school because of the propagation of the maybe coronavirus. And in this context, we teachers, we have decided even to organize these kind of lectures, these broadcasting lectures, just to help even our students once at home to revise all their lessons. So today, even also, I would like even to thank a lot Mindis TV for these very good ideas. And even also, they have given the possibilities, of course, to all the teachers to stay at home and even to learn at the same time. That's why even we would like to thank you a lot for these opportunities. So after this, I would like even to deal with a very important lesson. And this lesson is about the direct and indirect speech. But what is important first is to explain exactly what a dialect or an indirect speech is. A direct speech, it is when the people is speaking. When he is speaking directly, it is called a direct speech. But when the person also is reporting what somebody is saying, it is what we call an indirect speech. So the indirect speech, or even the reported speech, obeys even to some backshift of tenses. Tenses are really very important. For example, whenever we give you a sentence in which you have one tense, of course, it will change in the indirect speech. That is what we call the backshift of tenses. Of course, we will come back to this. Now, after this also, we have also main verbs. Main verbs are really very important even when you want to report a sentence. And the role of the main verb is only to introduce the sentence to report. Now, coming back also to the backshift of tenses. For example, in the direct speech, you are given a sentence in which the verb is in the simple present. Of course, in indirect speech, the simple present can become here the simple past. And whenever you have in a direct speech, the simple past, and that simple past will become, of course, the past perfect. And when you have also the present perfect in the direct speech, the present perfect will become the past perfect in the indirect speech. And when you have a future, the future will become the present conditional. And this is a theoretical class. And next time, of course, we will have a board and write everything, just even to give you the possibilities to understand things very well. And this is what we call the backshift of tenses. I can propose an example. For example, I say, Mr. Diouf is a doctor. And somebody wanted even to report what the people say a while ago. We can say, he said that Mr. Diouf was a doctor. So it means that the simple present we have in the direct speech become here the simple past in the indirect speech, and so on and so forth. And with other tenses, as I said a while ago, that is the same process we are going to follow. And after the backshift of tenses, also we have what we call the backshift of time. And meaning there are some time markers that will change from direct to indirect speech. For example, whenever we say today, we use today in a sentence. In the direct speech, today will change and become that day in the indirect speech. When I use ago, ago will change and become also before. Okay, so these are the difference, maybe backshift of time that can change. And even when I propose an example, we can say, my friend went to Dakar 2 days ago. Of course, he said his friends had gone to Dakar 2 days before. So it means ago become before. And even also the tense was the simple past, and that simple past become the past perfect. This is part of the backshift of tenses, of course. And this is really very important to know it, of course. And we have also what we call the backshift of pronouns and adjectives. And pronouns can be classified in 4 types. First of all, we have the personal pronoun subjects. For example, you can have I, you, she, he, it, we, you, and they. They are personal pronoun subjects. But those personal pronoun subjects in the direct speech will change in indirect speech, of course. Now, even also we have the personal pronoun objects. The personal pronoun objects, when I write I in the direct speech, I will become here he or she, depending on the gender. If it is a feminine, we can replace it by she. If it is the masculine, of course, we can replace it by he. And we have also the possessive adjectives. Every time we have used the first one, which is I. I will become, of course, I become he or she in the indirect speech. And the personal pronoun objects corresponding to I, it is me. Me can become he or him in the indirect speech. And we have the possessive adjective my. My will become his or her in the indirect speech. And the adjective possessive also, or the possessive adjective, mine. Mine will become also his or hers in indirect speech. And the reflexive pronoun, we can say myself. Myself will become himself or herself. Now, with I, of course, there are other personal pronoun subjects that can change, but for the next lesson, we will have the possibilities, of course, to write everything on the board and follow it with students, if possible. These are also called the backshift of pronouns and adjectives. Now, after all this, we have to come to reported questions. And sometimes we can propose you a question, and we want you to report it. And just to tell you exactly, we have 2 kinds of questions. We have the yes or no question. What does it mean? So the yes or no question, it is a question in which you can have as an answer, yes or no. For example, when I say, do you speak English? You can say, yes, I do. This is called a yes or no question. And apart maybe from this yes or no question, we have the WH question or HW question. What does it mean? So they are questions started with why, what, where, when, and so on and so forth. These are called W or HW question. So the reported speech, of course, will be done by taking into account the kind of question we have. First of all, when you have the yes or no question and you want to report it into indirect speech, I can propose an example. What is your name? Or even just to come to the yes or no question, do you speak English? We can say, Nafi ask. Nafi ask if I spoke English. So what does it mean? It means that when you have the yes or no question, you have the main verb, and the main verb always introduces the sentence to reports. After the main verbs, you use if, because it is a yes or no question. After if, you use the subjects, and after you use the verb. But by taking into account the tense, when the tense is in the simple present, of course, it will change in the simple past. So these are things which are very important you have to bear in your mind. And just to come also to the WH question or HW question. So it is a question started maybe with what or where or when. This is another case. Whenever you have a sentence started with a W or HW question, in the reported speech, of course, after writing the main verbs, you have to take again the same W or HW question you have. And then you put also the subjects, and even also you put the verb. This is also another way we can deal with the WH question. With the yes or no question, you have main verb plus if plus subjects plus verb. In the WH or HW question, you take again the HW question and you add the subjects and the verbs. These are the different ways we have to report even the questions. Every time you have to know exactly what kind of question is it. Is it a yes or no question, or is it a WH question? For the yes or no question, as I said a while ago, of course, you have the main verb, you add if plus subjects plus verb. And if it is also the WH question or HW question, of course, you have to take again the same W or HW question, you add the subjects, and even also you have the verb. These are, of course, the different way we can deal with it. And after this also, we have another part of the reported speech, which is reported orders. Reported orders, for example, I give an order. When somebody give an order and you want even to report what he said about the order, there is also another way and other clues we have to respect again. For example, when I say, stop talking, this is an order I give. He ordered me to stop talking. If you look at also, we have the main verb, he ordered me. And even after this, we put the verb in the infinitive ways too. He ordered me to stop talking. This is also the way we do the reported orders. Don't come in my house. He told me not to come in my house. Don't come in my house. He told me not to come in my house. So as I started with the sentence with don't, so this is a negative, you use the main verb after you put not and you put the infinitive with to of the verb. These are even the two maybe kind of example I can propose. Now, we have also different kind of maybe reported speech. And all those kind of reported speech, maybe I gave it to you a while ago, and it is quite important. And just to finish by saying that the main verbs is very important in a sentence to report. Because whenever we want to report a sentence, every time we have to use the main verb to introduce the sentence to report. It is very important. But what is important here is to know exactly the tense of the main verb, because the main verbs can change. The tense can change. Of course, it can be in the simple present as it can be in the simple past, and so on and so forth. Just to give the two examples, when the main verb is in the simple past, of course, we can change the tense. We can change also adverb of times. But whenever you have a sentence in which the main verb is in the present tense, meaning in the simple present, now for this case, don't change the tense of the verb. We can say, Nafi spoke English very much. And we say, he says. He says is a main verb, but it is in the third person singular in the simple present. We will not change the tense of the verb. Nafi speaks English very well. He said, or even he says, Nafi speaks English very well. Why I do not change the tense? Because the main verb is in the present tense. It is in the simple present. As it is in the simple present, we will not change the tense of the verb. This is also very important to understand and very good. So theoretically, I hope these are the difference even point I wanted maybe to lay emphasis on, just to help even the students who are at home and who have their mobile phones to get in touch with maybe this channel and try to revise at the same time the lessons. And that is even what I wanted to say about this. And I am Ms. Sambai, as I said just at the beginning. I am a teacher of English in Kumando Venue High School, and at the same time, I am a teacher of business English and business communication in Hussein University, meaning the University of Sin Salum. And at the same time, I am teaching business English and business communication in ESM, school. So these are even the few words I wanted maybe to add about the lesson. Just to thank you a lot, and to thank also Mindis TV for these very lovely ideas, meaning helping students who are at home to revise their lesson at the same time. Thank you, and thank you very much for your invitation. And see you next time.